Okay, everybody, we're on to the next episode. I believe it's episode 7. Um, this is the episode where, if you hadn't already kind of got the feel for how the series is going, this one solidifies it for you. So, we had the one episode with Silica. We have Asuna. She's pretty much, like I said, she's in so many episodes, you already know that's his girlfriend. It's going to be his girlfriend. It's going to be whatever. But then they introduce Lisbeth. And you know he's going to be a guy with a harem of girls around him the entire time. And if you don't know what a harem is, it's a bunch of girls. Um, so yeah, he comes into this shop, this blacksmith shop, run by Liz or Lisbeth. I'm gonna call her Liz because it's easier. And she's friends with Asuna, and she maintains Asuna's equipment for her. Well, Kirito comes in. He's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of interested in getting something from here, but can you give me something to look at?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know." She looks him up and down and is like, "He doesn't look like he's got any money." And then she's like, "Well, I mean, what do you want to? What are you trying to get at? Because I'm not just gonna let you hold anything." And he's like, "Well," he gives her his sword and he said, "I want something like this or better." And he hands her his sword, and immediately she's like, "Fuck, it's heavy." And then she looks at the stats, and then she's like, "Well, this is the best sword I've got." He said, "Can I test it out?" Now, usually whenever people are talking about testing out a sword, you're going to swing that sword around a bit. No, he just takes it and he slams it against his sword and it snaps it in half. And she's like, "What the fuck did you broke my best work." And he was like, "It's kind of sad. I was expecting something more." And she's like, "Well, I could do better if I had better materials." He's like, "Well, let's go get them." In a typical Kirito, like, if I want something, I'm gonna go get it. I don't care about the rules. And that is literally his MO forever. Um so she's like, there's this dragon in a quest, and it's got some sort of rare crystal ingot, yeah, I know, thing. And he's like, "Well, I'll go get it." And she was like, "Well, you can only get it if you have a smith with you." He's like, "Well, fine, you come along, but you know you gotta do what I say." And so they leave, and it's on a floor that's got like a winter thing, and she's in a like mini skirt, and she's cold. And he's like, "You really didn't come prepared, did you?" And he gives her like a winter cloak to wear, and she's like, "Oh, he's so kind, he's so nice." And immediately you're like, "Oh my god, she's falling in love with him." And so they get to the place, they find the dragon, he beats the dragon. He's like, "You stay out of sight until I tell you it's okay to come out." And she doesn't listen, and she gets attacked by the dragon, and he grabs her as she's falling, but he grabs her and he turns and he takes the hit of falling all the way down, which would have killed her. It would have killed most players, but he's at such a high level. I mean, when they do show his HP bar, he was almost dead too. So that goes to show you, they would have been dead if it wasn't for him. Um, so then he tries to like run up the wall. Turns out it's kind of hard to run up an ice wall, but he almost did it. Whatever. Then I guess they hunker down for the night, seeing as how they can't get out. And she's like, "Can you hold my hand?" Yeah. So he does it, and she's like, "It's so warm, even though we're in a virtual world. I would love to know what this feels in the real world." And so they spend the night there. He finds the ore that they're looking for. It turns out, basically, they fell into the dragon's toilet, and the ore is its poop. So yeah, they take it. The dragon, being nocturnal, comes back to sleep in the poop hole. And he's like, "I know a way out of here." And he jams it, or he picks Elizabeth up, he runs up the wall, slips, jumps off, jabs his sword into the dragon and rides it out of the thing. And then, as they're flung off, Liz sees the scenery and how beautiful it is, and she's like, "I really like you." And there's too much wind. And he's like, "What?" And then she just pulls him in for a hug. And, all right, so, everything seems to be going all right. They go back to, her shop, and she makes his sword, and it's everything he wanted. He's like, "It's heavy, it's good." Then all of a sudden, Asuna bursts in. "Liz, where you been at? I was looking for you yesterday, and you were nowhere to be found. I was so worried." And then that's when Liz puts two and two together, because she's like, "Well, I was in a dungeon with him." And Asuna looks around, sees Kirito, and then starts in on him. We were supposed to do something. You and then Elizabeth is like, "Oh, I see. Kind of stupid for even thinking I had a chance." So she gets really embarrassed and runs off, cries underneath a bridge. And, Kirito finds her, and he's like, "I want to thank you for just not only making the sword, but, reminding me about being human." It's very subtle, the way that they did that. Like, they didn't outright say that, but that's what they meant is, Kirito, I come in and I wreak my havoc on whatnot, and then I leave a place. And it's very easy to forget the way that you affect other people, the way that you touch their soul, the way you warm their hearts. And I think that was very well done, because it's not pushed on you, it's not outright said, but that's basically what they mean with this whole episode. And again, like I said, this is, when you see this, you're like, okay, he's gonna have like 8 chicks around him, and they all gonna like him, and this, that, and the other. I could get into so many other discussions about other anime at this point, but I'm not going to, because if I'm gonna keep doing this, I'd rather watch like an episode or something and then talk about it, versus going off of, well, I saw this episode of Love Hina 15, 20 years ago, and I'm going to talk about it. And yeah, everybody knows that my memory is complete shit. So, anyways, that's it for that episode. Elizabeth backs off. She tells Asuna that, or she whispers in her, like, you just keep at it. You'll get it. Just keep at it. You ain't really got to do anything. Just keep doing what you're doing. And everybody leaves on good terms. Like I said, it's spoilers, not spoilers. They all stay friends for until now in the series, and I'm sure it's not until now, it's forever, but you never know. They could make some weird spinoff where I don't know, maybe Elizabeth goes crazy. She's like, I could have had him, and I don't know, thoughts, but whatever. Yeah, that's it. Bye.